Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for listening to the Dumb Dad Podcast. My name is Kevin. I'm a dumb dad.
My name is Evan, and I'm also a dumb dad. And on this episode, Evan will remind us that it is important to check your blind spots, but not necessarily your lunches.
Sure. And on this podcast, Evan's going to learn that, having a packing checklist is great. Also, while you check the weather.
Oh, okay. Yes. Very important.
Cheers.
Cheers, pal.
Welcome back to the West Coast.
Welcome back to the West Coast. Yeah, it's nice to be back. It's also not very nice to be back.
Why is it not nice to be back?
Because New York was so much fun.
Oh, okay.
And LA is great. So it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, really. It's fun to be on vacation. It's fun to go to New York. I love New York so much.
Yeah.
I don't have to tell you that, but it's because you live there. But it's also nice to be home and sleep in your own bed, all that stuff, blah blah blah. But New York was fun.
You got home last night?
No, night before last.
Night before last.
So I burned an hour of my 3-hour time difference. They say your jet lag is you recover an hour a day.
All right, here's my hot take.
Oh, okay.
I don't buy jet lag from the East Coast to West Coast. I don't buy jet lag.
Talk to me when you come back from the East Coast.
We did an East Coast tour. We toured.
Yeah, and I felt it.
I didn't. I feel like your jet lag is from you go to Paris, where it's a mess.
No.
But you're tired all the time.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Jet lag might be if you have a regular schedule. But if you have children, there's nothing regular about anything you do.
No.
So, yeah, we were begging our kids, please,
sleep in?
Yeah. Please just sleep as long as you possibly can. Woke up at 7:30.
It's not bad.
Not bad. Felt kind of regular.
Yeah.
Didn't feel so regular to, my wife and I, but felt somewhat kind of regular.
I've just kind of
and then it was
surrendered.
Kind of slow. It was slow morning, but
Yeah. I've just surrendered to the fact that just some days you're just going to wake up tired. Like you sleep badly, but you don't know you sleep badly.
Yeah,
There's one thing when you sleep bad. It's another when you didn't know you slept bad. Last night was an example of that. I went to bed at around 11. Wasn't very restless. I remember I wasn't up for a while. I remember I fell asleep pretty quickly. My son woke up at 6:45, which of course is earlier than you want, but that's almost 8 hours if you fell asleep right at 11 and
We're past
whatever.
the days of 5:15 or 4:40, and I'm up for the day.
I was hurting this morning, and I was we got plenty of sleep. So it was one of those. That's more of a bummer. It's one thing if you're up all night, the kids or whatever, they come in your bed, you're up and down. That's a different. Then you wake up and you're yeah, last night was awful, so I feel awful today. It's nothing worse than waking up and you're slept all night, as far as you know, and you wake up and you get out of bed and you go, I feel awful.
Definitely if you're a parent, you're jet lagged at any random time at any random part of the week. So I hear you there.
Yeah.
If you have a regular schedule, regular job that's 9 to 5, whatever it is, and then you travel and come back, you're going to feel it much more for sure. But still, I don't know. I felt it. It's maybe we're so conscious about it, but I don't know. It was there a little bit, but yeah, man, New York is great. And it feels kind of funny. I was thinking about this because we had just such a wonderful experience taking our kids. My kids are 10 and 6. And it's such a wonderful experience to take them to somewhere unfamiliar. Mm-hmm. And I can't emphasize that enough to parents out there to just offer your kids a different culture, a different experience, whether you travel halfway around the world or just some city that's very different. It's funny to me because we live in a major city in Los Angeles.
We live in the outer.
Well, you know what I mean. It's the hustle and bustle spreads from Los Angeles is a half an hour south of San Francisco and 10 minutes north of San Diego.
Right.
That's all of Los Angeles, basically.
Right, but I'm saying there's downtown Los Angeles. People live there. Where we live.
No, we don't live in proper downtown city life. But it's a major city. There's a lot going around all the time. There's even on the outskirts, there's a lot going on all the time. And so it's a fast-paced city. Yeah. Not as fast-paced as New York is and the condensed nature of New York, but it's still different. We still are going from a major city to a bigger major city that is a different pace, a different lifestyle, bigger and much different lifestyle. Our city in Los Angeles is based on let's all drive cars all over the place.
Yeah.
And New York is like, we don't have space to do that. It's very condensed, and we need to have the cars be underground, and you ride on trains.
Yeah.
But just like the overall feeling, I will say, before we get into too much of like the travel, and we don't need to get to like every experience I had, but like taking the little kids, just your children, to a different space that operates in a different, everything about life in New York is different than it is in LA. And because it's New York City, it's different than basically anywhere else in the United States, for sure.
Yeah.
Mostly the world. And it's just so cool to watch them experience that, watch their eyes, they look around and see things and see different people and see, and just like offer experiences. And like, that's the best way to, I think, just culturalize your kids. I mean, just give your children, just offer them something different than where they're from. It doesn't really matter if you just go to some place that offers a different experience than where they currently live, and it just expands their horizon, expands their minds, and it's just such a wonderful thing to see them witness that,
Right.
And like, it was so funny that, like you get around in New York basically by the subway. I mean, there's different ways to get around, but the easiest way is via subway. Yeah. Which they're not used to at all here, obviously. Right, no. And so we're asking them, can you imagine? And then, a day into it, we're like, or 2 days into it, we're like, can you guys, so what do you prefer? I may ask you guys, do you like traveling like this, or do you like a car? And they were like, we like this. And it was like, amazing. Yeah. 2 days after that, it was like, I don't really like this anymore. Because the first 2 days, every time we got on the subway, there was like, do you want to stand up? You want to sit down?
Yeah. It's
exciting. Do either or, move around. And then like day 3 or 4, we got on the subway and there was like packed.
Yeah.
And it's like shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
They didn't like that so much, understandably. They're kids. And so it was like, I don't really like this so much anymore. I was like, yeah, exactly. We took them to Manhattan. We wanted them to see the hustle and bustle, the busyness of like the really touristy central part of the city. Yeah. We jumped around all over Brooklyn. We took them, walked them halfway across the Brooklyn Bridge. We didn't try to, we weren't going to go like all the way into Manhattan, but like walked them across the Brooklyn Bridge about halfway, took some pictures and pointed like, there's Dumbo, and and then came back down. We went to the Museum of Motion Picture. I think I may be getting that wrong.
That was in Astoria, right?
And it's in Brooklyn. Maybe it's in Astoria.
Because it used to be where I lived. It used to be near where I lived.
And that's really cool. There's like a Jim Henson exhibit there. Yeah. I really encourage your kids to take them there if you want. It's like a punch in the face of nostalgia. It's like not only is it like a bunch of stuff of like old televisions and old television cameras, but there's a Jim Henson exhibit there.
Yeah, we went there
incredible.
when it first opened, when they first got that exhibit up.
Yeah, we took them there. We went to... we took them to like ice cream. We went to Ellis Island. We went to Liberty Island. So we took them to we jumped on the ferry and went out to Statue of Liberty Island. Yeah. And walked around and got close-up view and everything. It was cool. Yeah. And then took the ferry from there to Ellis Island, which is 12 million people immigrated from other countries through Ellis Island into the United States, which was amazing. Yeah. We went up into the room of reception where you would basically get off your boat, whether or not you were with a family or if you were alone or whatever, and like stand in the line. And, that was probably one of my favorite things because my wife's uncle's grandfather came through Ellis Island. Okay. From Italy when he was 17 years old by himself. Yeah. On the boat for 2 weeks by himself. Yeah. Because he knew his sister lived in like New Jersey or something like that. Yeah. And he had like the nameplate around his neck of like the train he needed to take to get there. Because he had, otherwise had, it's cool to be there and put yourself in this situation. Like 17 years old, it's like 19, 15 or whatever the hell it was. Yeah. And like all is like I get off the boat when I see the Statue of Liberty. Yeah. I gotta go try to find my sister.
It's crazy.
Never saw his mother again. Yeah. Families getting separated because some of them had illnesses or whatever. It was like, it was really, you try to put yourself in the situation when you go to see something like that, but having the stories of Uncle Bill's like grandfather stories, it became that much more real and emotional being there. And we went outside to the Wall of Honor and like found his grandfather's name on the plaque.
Really?
I mean, it was really cool.
That's
really,
cool.
really cool. So it was cool to get like take the kids to like fun Muppet Museum, but also like to the Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island and try not to force it, but try to explain a little bit. And it felt like they understood it a little bit.
Sure.
Not to the, the gravity of what we as adults were understanding. Like, I can't even fathom that.
No.
I moved from Washington to California in the age of Skype.
Yeah.
Leaving my parents for the first time, and it still felt emotional.
They'll never understand the weight of that.
I can't never understand that way. So, but yeah, it's cool. We got my son was like, one of my friends was like, I got to try a New York slice of pizza. He wants to know what it's like. So, we went and got,
Gotta do it.
we took him to that, like we got black and white cookies. So we did like a lot of the fun sort of
That's awesome.
New York stuff, but also it was just such a fun experience.
Yeah.
But also nice to be home and sleep in your own bed.
Every time.
So it was fun. It was great. It was a great trip.
Every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be excited to go back. We're going back on Wednesday.
But you held down the fort here. LA was okay without me.
LA was thrived, actually.
Yeah. There it is. Yeah. I walked
flowers bloomed.
Yeah.
It was crazy. No, it was good. It was good. We did fine here. We what did
spring break?
I
mean, it's spring break, so that's what we did for our.
This is the last. Break. I mean, we're going into the weekend. This is as we're recording this. It's Friday, of spring break, and I'm cashed.
Yeah, same, different reasons.
Cashed. I'm just like, all right.
Can we just drop them off at school tomorrow, please?
They want to go to school so bad.
Yeah.
But no, we did a lot of stuff. We ran around the city a bit, played and stuff. And that'll get me in my dumb dad moment. Which, I'll say is brought to you by, I don't know, something to do. So I posted about it.
Which is what you need.
Yeah.
You need something to do almost every day.
Yeah, and we did. We did a lot of stuff. Like, luckily, we still had, like, a bunch of stuff like swim and baseball, and we had things to do. My daughter slept in a couple of days, which was, like, great, and we're going to take it easy. So, I don't know if your kids got this, but my kids both got tickets to the Peterson Automotive Museum.
Oh, yeah. I think LAUSD offered that to like all students.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Peterson Automotive Museum is cool, man.
Yeah, I'd never been to it before.
Oh, really?
I'm not a car guy, so I would never seek it out. So, but it was like, it was offered and the kids were excited about it. And I was like, yeah, we're definitely going to go. Of course we're going to go. We're on spring break. Let's figure it out.
Yeah.
So yesterday, again, slow start to the day. Kids are just hanging out. I think I went to the gym, early in the morning. And then my wife made them breakfast and came back and they lounged for a bit. And I was like, all right, we should get going to the auto museum.
Yeah.
And I'm looking and I'm like, it's pretty close to lunchtime. All right. But I don't want to make them lunch. And I don't think they want lunch because it kind of had a late start. So I made some lunch boxes.
Yeah.
Filled the lunch box, which I haven't done, by the way, in the school year almost at all.
Do they both eat school lunch? Like every day?
Yeah. For a while, they were eating a lot of the school lunch. And then my son asked me for like home lunch. And I was like, you got it, man. Whatever you want. And he was like, I want this, 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 and this. And I was like, you got it. We have all those things. Like gave him whatever it was, oranges and peanut butter and jelly and Snappy Crisps, whatever. And then he came home that day and doing what kids do, which is just devouring everything in sight.
Yeah.
And then I look, he hasn't touched the lunch.
Yeah.
Completely full. And I was like, and then he picks up, he goes, you made me lunch? And I was like, we had the conversation this morning. You asked
Literally
me
asked me to do it.
He asked me to do it. I said, yep.
What do you make them eat the lunch?
And you said,
I usually tell the kids, they're like, can we have something to eat? Can I have some fruits next? I'm like, did you eat your lunch? And then there's a pause. And then we open the lunch and it's like, oh, you got all the carrots are sitting there. How about you eat those first? Then it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, well, we used to do that when we used to make them lunch, but lately they've been just eating school lunch. And they've been like, there have been things that I think they've tried enough times that we're like, we've asked them, do you want us to make you, do you want home lunch? It's, whatever it is. It's this today. And they go, no, it's fine.
My daughter always wants home lunch. Huh. We're split.
Oh.
My son is like hit or miss sometimes because you can look at the schedule, what they're going to serve.
Mm-hmm.
So my wife will tell my son what it's going to be. And he's like, yes or no. So he's kind of hit or miss, but my daughter always wants.
I'll make it for him, but my kids are just been like, we're fine. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, easier for us. I mean, it's very beneficial that, I mean, we're very lucky that LASU is like across the board is like no kid hungry. Everything is like they offer lunch to whoever, so it's cool.
Yeah.
So she's like, no, I'm not eating that weird stuff. I want, I want peanut butter and jelly. I want sliced cucumbers.
It's like, no, you're eating it. So yeah, I made them lunch, and then I packed them some juice boxes, packed them all in the bag, got in the car, went, drove there, and then we get there, and I'm like, I'm being such like that, that like nervous parent, but I'm not nervous, but I'm acting like one because I'm like reading the paper, and it's like, must have student ID with you or a recent report card. And I was like, oh, I didn't read that before I got here.
I have their lunches.
I was like, oh man. So I like text my wife. I was like, can you send me a picture of one of the kids' student IDs? And she calls and she's like, what? And I was like, this paper says must have a student ID or a report card. She's like, I have a report card. And I was like, great, send me a photo. Yeah. She sends me a photo.
So they can get it for free. Basically.
Yeah, so they can get it for free. And it says for up to 4 members per each ticket. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's rad. So the 3 of us were able to go in for free. So we go in the line, and I'm just like ready, hand the woman the thing, and she like the ticket, just a ticket, and she's like, all right, cool. Here's your stuff. And I was like, oh, right, you don't care.
Yeah, no.
Like,
I know. It's the people pleaser that comes out in us again. Like,
yeah.
And the same thing, kids are supposed to be able to, like, if they're under like 42 inches, they're supposed to be able to ride the subway for free. We just like scan the thing every time. $3, whatever.
Oh, sure.
I'm not going to go find the MTA agent to be like, is there like a ruler for her? So no, it's just like, beep, we're on the subway. Like, we're not doing that.
So, yeah. Just get on there.
Just get on. I'll pay. I'm not doing that.
And, yeah, so then she was like, all right, there's no bags allowed. You have to check that, which I was like, sweet. I don't have to carry a backpack around. Let's go. So there's like security, go in, check the bag. They give you a little ticket. Come get it when you're done. And I was like, oh, slick.
So you handed them the lunches.
I handed them the lunches. And then we went in. We went in, and then, 20 minutes in, far enough away that I was like, I'm not getting out of here. The kids are like, I'm hungry. I was like, oh, yeah, sure. It's like 1 now.
Yeah, now they're hungry.
And I was like, yeah, no, I don't have that. I go, but I'll make you guys.
It's safe, I can tell you.
We have it. There's a cooler pack, so it's not getting worse. The apples might be a bit brown.
Yeah.
But I said to him, I was like, I'll make you guys a deal. I was like, what? If we at any point in this find a vending machine or cafeteria, we're gonna buy some stuff. And they were like, all right, cool. And then it was really fun. We saw like the Batmobile and like a car from Transformers, and
so you saw the DeLorean.
The DeLorean.
Yeah.
Which
they're like, I don't know what that is.
The 1960s Batman motorcycle.
Uh-huh.
I didn't put it in stories, but the mystery machine from Scooby-Doo was there, from the Scooby-Doo movie. I was like, oh, this is all really, really rad.
Yeah.
And the kids didn't appreciate it. They don't care about any of that stuff.
They're just like, why would you drive these weird
Lightning
cars?
McQueen was there.
There you go.
They liked that one.
That sold them there.
They did. I think my daughter did like the Batmobile. I think she was like, that's a cool car. The Michael Keaton one. I was like, yes. It's classic. Anyway.
It's like if a limousine was a sports car.
Yeah. It's so cool.
I'm sure the handling sucks on that thing.
Oh, I looked in the in the cockpit, and I was like, yeah, that's not fun to drive.
No.
You have no like sight. There's no eye line.
You can't corner in it, and you can't see anything.
Yeah. And it's funny because it looks cool in the movie, but it's like a windshield, but in the middle, it's separated by 2 plates. So there's like a piece of metal.
And it's like a
black.
It's like a cockpit.
It's like a cockpit, but it's like, why would you block that part? He needs to see. That's a blind spot on an already very long car.
No, it's not. Nothing about Batman is like
he couldn't turn his head.
No, he can't. No. And it's all about it looks cool.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It looks cool.
That's why he has so many cameras. It's like he just can't turn. And it did. It looked cool. And the kids loved it. And it was and then there was like a cars mechanic area, and that was really fun because the kids got to make Legos, and then it was a thing where you could trace Lightning McQueen characters, like characters from Cars. And that's fun. And then my son got really grouchy. And I was like, I think you're really hungry. I was like, we should get out of here.
We had that a few times too. It's like, what is the matter with you?
Yeah.
I feel so dumb. Like my kids are 10 and 6. And still you get to 1 o'clock and it's like, what is with you guys bickering and arguing with each other?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're hungry.
Fumes, running on fumes. He was like really grouchy and annoyed. And I was like, it was one of those times where like, because I'd screwed up, that was my dumb dad moment.
Yeah.
I was able to use that though as leverage. I was like, well, why don't we get out of here? I feel like we've been here for a really long time. He's like, well, like it was one of those of just like, I'm mad, but I don't want to change my current situation. And I was like, I have food.
Pissed off with no reasoning.
Yeah, pissed off.
Like,
yeah, just angry.
Like, yeah.
And I was like, I have food. Why don't we go get that food? And he was like,
yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you could have led with that. Let's go do that. So then he got up, and then we still watched. We actually still stayed there for probably another half hour, like checking out the other cars, which they were like, I was with them at this point. I'm like, I can leave. I saw the cool movie cars.
Yeah, my nostalgia bucket is full.
Whatever
you guys want to see.
And then we got down to like the low riders all like tricked out, similar to what we saw at the auto show.
Yeah.
There was just these cars that were like Cadillacs and stuff that were just like insane. An engine that you're like, so you don't use it? And I'm confused. It's so shiny. and then
trailer cars.
They had fun with that. And then like we're leaving, I can see security, where they have our bag, and we passed by like the only thing they had that was food because there was no vending machine. I didn't get to follow through with that. The only thing they had was like what looked like a semi, not nice, but like I don't mean it wasn't nice, but I'm not trying to say upscale, but it was just like a cute little restaurant.
Yeah. And
they're like, oh, let's go in here and get something to eat. And I was like, I did promise you that, but that was when I didn't know this was here and that's there. So no, let's go. Let's go there. I'm not going to sit down at a restaurant.
Yeah.
And then we drove. It worked out. It was a dumb dad moment because what I should have done was made the lunch boxes and gave it to him because it was a 45-minute drive there. Just here's your lunch. Here's your lunch. Let's drive to the auto show. You'll be full, and then we'll have fun, and we'll probably be there for 3 hours. We were only there for like an hour. Well, we were there for like 2 hours, but here's where it worked out.
You kids are I'm about to faint with tunnel vision. I'm so hungry. I can't even.
We kind of were leaving at rush hour ish. It was like an hour 20 to get home, but then it was great because then they just crushed their very late lunch. So they were quiet for most of that ride because they were just like, can we play some music? Here's some music. And they just ate. And I was like, but then I was so hungry.
Yeah.
I was so hungry because I had like snacked because I went to the gym that morning. Like everything was just kind of thrown off. I had like a light breakfast. I didn't have anything for lunch. And now at this point, it's like 2:30, 3 o'clock. And I'm just like, and they're like, I'm all done. And I'm just like a scavenger. I'm like, give me that.
Is there anything you didn't eat?
What didn't you touch? You don't want the cheese stick? No? You sure? You don't like it?
Oh, I ate the plastic.
As fast as I can.
I ate the plastic.
Yeah, plastic was good. Had flavor on it. But I was so hungry. But it was a success. The kids had a great time. They loved it. It's funny. My kids aren't like that. They're not usually somebody who they don't get super obsessed about like a free event unless it's something that they know what it is or they're excited about it.
Because they don't have to pay for stuff.
They don't pay for anything. Everything's free. But
everything is free.
They were just so excited about it. Like the whole week, they were just like, "When are we going to the thing, the museum?" And I was like,
"That's hilarious."
It's a car museum. There's going to be no sharks there.
100% would have gone. I mean, like we scheduled we knew when spring break was coming, and we hadn't been to New York since my son was like 3.
Yeah.
And my daughter was in my wife. So she wasn't born yet.
Yep.
So we were like, we got to go back. We love it so much. And, this feels like a pretty good age for their, they can sort of absorb some of it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, otherwise we definitely would have gone. And knowing that like it's a free ticket from
free
NISD
something to
is
do.
Like super fun. A free something to do during spring break.
Mm-hmm.
You desperately need that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So yeah, nothing in New York was a free something to do.
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, we did take a bus ride or two, and that was free for my daughter. But I asked I was like, does she need to pay? They were like, no, the kids don't need to pay. They were pretty chill about children. No, just you guys pay, get on the bus. That was cool. So, but yeah, I mean, that was, yeah. I am a car guy. I like the Peterson Auto Museum. It's cool. It's just kind of a side note. It's cool to see like the design of cars from a long time ago.
Oh, I prefer them.
Just like the design of cars from a long time ago, the curves and the design nature, and each brand looks so different from each other, and now they all just kind of look a lot alike.
I'm guessing they all got the same results from the same wind tunnel test, so they're just like, let's have cars all look the same. I was showing our kids the stuff, and I was like, they're just like trying things back then.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's so cool.
So cool.
There was one car, I think it was in our stories. It was like, it looked so impractical. I loved it. It was like super bulbous and round in the front, and then it was a 2-seater, and then behind it was a little, bench for what the kids would sit in, because that's all you could fit back there was your small children.
It was tiny little people.
And do you remember when? I guess I haven't owned a sedan in a while, so I know some sedans are still this way. The back of the car on like a sedan has like a little area you could put stuff up there.
Yeah,
very small.
This Kleenex box.
Yeah. Or like a stuffed animal that's waving at the cars behind.
That has no color to it anymore because it's been back there for 5 years. Yeah.
This one was like 3 feet deep and came to a point. Like the end of the car came to a point, but like that just area was like 3 feet deep. You remember the brand,
like the manufacturer of the car?
I did take a picture of it. I just don't remember what it is.
Yeah.
But I was obsessed with it. I was like, I love how ridiculous this car is.
You drive that around now, it's like people are asking you about it. Yeah. It's head turner, like everywhere you go.
I was taking like a bunch of pictures and videos of it. And my daughter was just like, what's so special about this car? I was like, kind of everything that they just tried it.
Yeah, look at it.
It's like he just wanted to be like,
look at it, and then go look in the parking lot and find anything you won't find anything like that at all.
Yeah,
nothing like that at all.
So other than that, I could appreciate that, and it does make you just hate kind of cars today, but
I just love like design like that, which was part of the reason like when the Cybertruck came out, it was like, yeah, that looks like a truck that would exist in like Nintendo 64 Tomb Raider, like
because it's a hard angles.
Polygon, hard angles. Like we didn't have enough graphics to make it smooth.
Yeah,
and so it's like insane looking, but at the same time it's like but every other car looks exactly the same, and so to make something that looked completely different was kind of cool. Now I wouldn't say that I think the design was cool. But
of the Cybertruck,
but like it still is like, well, it definitely makes you look at it. It definitely it's a head turner. Like so that's the part of the Cybertruck that I did appreciate. It was like they absolutely sent the idea and went for it.
But Elon Musk.
Yeah, we could go down that whole rabbit hole. I don't need to do all that. He didn't sit there and draw it. Well, maybe he did.
It definitely looks like he sat there and
he sat down and drew it.
It's 100% what it looks like.
He's like, it's the best thing I could possibly draw. Like, really?
So do you want the guys to like? Do you want me to take this to the guys and then they'll mock it up based on this? And he's like, no, that's the car, and like that's the final drawing.
Oh, I thought this was like overall shape. You used like magnetiles to design this.
So the stick figure with the smiley face, is that
who was allowed to drive this? I don't understand.
Only
but you know what I mean. It's like that's what I do appreciate about some cars that are just like, well, I mean, like, so now the only thing that's allowed to do that is like supercars or concept cars, which whenever a company comes out with a concept car, you're like, that's incredible. And they're like, yeah, isn't it right? We're not going to make that.
And what was it, Hyundai?
Well, whatever. I mean,
I think Hyundai, we saw a concept car of Hyundai's at the auto show, and it was really cool. For that reason, it was a concept car that you were like, oh, this is sweet.
Well, that one
prototype.
I think, because it's a hydrogen car.
Yeah.
Anyway, we don't need to go into the weeds. That was like potentially like but you know, like you see like Ford something, and it's like this concept car, and it's like doesn't look like anything they've ever made in the last 25 years. And you're like, that's whoa, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah. So anyway, here's the new Escort and whatever. It's like, because we're not in the Taurus, whatever the hell they make now. It's like, it's not going to look like that at all. It's going to be like dumbed down such so that you like, we might use the headlights off of that kind of, so it's like, you don't even get to see anything like that anymore. So I wish there was more like aggressive, just design. I love aggressive design or, just really
electric cars
outside the box kind of stuff. Electric cars give me hope. But I don't know. They remake everything. They brought back the bus, which I love, but at the same time, like they can't make an original TV show anymore. It's all the same. It's all the same thing. Yeah, they can't. They can't do it.
They tried.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's
just another. It's just another love bug.
Leaning on the success of the past as opposed to like taking a leap of faith into design or something. Which I love when somebody does something like that because it's like it shakes it up a bit, which is what we need a lot of.
Sure.
Anyway. My dumb dad moment just goes back to New York, which is just that we looked ahead a lot.
Yeah.
We had a couple weeks in a row here in Los Angeles that was like 85 degrees in March. And we're looking into New York and it's going to be like 50 degrees.
Yeah.
A couple of the days was going to be close to 60 degrees.
Watch out.
It wasn't.
Okay.
Said it was going to be. It wasn't. It was usually like about 45 to 50 degrees every day, which we thought was fine because it was only really going to be like raining the day that we got there, like really, really raining. Yeah. When we landed, it was going to be raining and pouring and then cloudy the next day. And then every other day it was going to be like cloudy and sunny, but like 50 degrees. So we're like, great. And so my wife was like, I don't really know what jacket to bring. I'm just going to bring my winter coat. It's like this light kind of like light down jacket she wears, like rainbow thing from Marine Layer that looks is great jacket. And, so I was like, I don't really want to bring like a winter coat. I think I'm just going to bring like my rain jacket in case it rains, but I'll layer underneath it.
Yeah.
And we packed our kids their rain jackets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so not the smartest idea because when it's like 75 degrees here in LA, that's cool to us.
Yeah.
And understandably, I know it's only March, April, and everyone else around the country is like, God, I would just snap your hand off for a 75-degree day. But it's all relative, right? So we pack our kids like a couple of hoodie sweatshirts, and they're like lightweight rain jackets. And like a day and a half into it, we're walking around, and yes, the sun is out, but I mean, the wind is blowing.
Yeah.
And it's 50 degrees. And they are just like freezing cold.
Just didn't have enough, didn't it?
No.
Yeah.
No, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm an adult, so I was fine.
Yeah.
I kind of did the thing that you do, which is like, I'm just going to appreciate this because sooner than later when I get back to LA, it'll be like 115 degrees on March 29th, whatever. And my wife was fine because it wasn't even necessarily like, well, I'm going to pack warm and screw everybody else. It wasn't that at all. She was just like, I don't really know what jacket to bring. I think I'm just going to bring this one. It really was all it was.
Yeah.
But we definitely just packed the kids like their light rain jackets.
Wind goes right through it.
A couple of sweatshirts. And they were just like freezing cold, man. And so like fast forward to us in the Statue of Liberty gift shop, and they're like, hey, what do you guys think of this beanie? So you bought them beanies, and it was like, to be fair, the ones they chose were like, kind of cool.
Yeah,
if you're gonna pull something, it wasn't like too stereotypical, like merch that you'll never wear again. Like they liked it, and so they wore those the rest of the time and everything. But oh my god, it was so funny watching them because it was like we step out of a hotel and the wind would blow, and it was like the wind would blow and it like even if you had your hood on, it would blow the hood off your head.
Yeah.
Like that kind of cold.
Yeah.
And like the chill factor of the wind, we just felt so bad. It was like, man, they look cold.
You guys cold? Should have packed.
Freezing cold.
Oh, man.
Yeah, this is no fault other than ours because we put your clothes in the suitcase.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. You would have packed dumb. You would have packed so dumb.
Yeah.
You would have packed just swimsuits for some reason. Even though I told you it'd be too cold to swim and the hotel doesn't have a pool. But we did this. This is our fault.
100% on us that you are struggling right now.
That's incredible. Oh, that's good. Well,
so
I'm glad you guys survived it. You made it through. Congrats.
Yeah, man. And again, I'll just say, we'll kind of end it by just saying, like, I encourage you to just take your kids to it doesn't have to be a big, look, it wasn't like a big lavish trip to New York City. We stayed at, the most affordable hotel we could find and did a lot of stuff with our family members, but just offer them as many of experiences as you can. I'm going to get this quote wrong. I think it's from Mark Twain. It's not exact. I'm going to paraphrase it, but like traveling is like the enemy of prejudice. It just opens your mind to a different experience and like what your kids might see as young little kids. So the world is a massive, massive, massive place. And just let them see something different than they're used to, and no matter where it can be, just if it's different than your hometown, take them somewhere, a new experience. It really, really helps them out. So I encourage that a lot.
Yeah. Agreed.
It was fun.
Agreed.
It was fun.
Well, welcome back. Get back to work.
Thank you. Yeah, I know. Here I am. I'm so tired.
Well, that is a good place to leave it. Guys, if you have some travel horror stories, write into us. dumbdadpod@gmail.com or DM us. We're at the Dumb Dads on Instagram. We're at the Dumb Dads on all social media. Thanks for listening to this travel episode of the Dumb Dads. Rate and review this podcast if you haven't done so already. If you have, thank you so much. We'd love to read a new review soon. Thanks to Verdú on SoundCloud for the music of this podcast and to my wonderful wife, Annie, for editing this podcast. Evan, do you have a joke to take us out?
Well, one of the things I noticed about New York is it's a wonderful city. It's fun to travel in. It's fun to experience the city. It really doesn't look very good in the morning. I mean, it's a city that never sleeps, so you got to give it credit.
Did you come up with that?
No, I read it.
Okay.
But it's about as good as any other of the horrible dad jokes that
Sure.
Once in a while, you catch a good one. That was not necessarily one. But that's also what we're here for.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Welcome to the world, little one. Welcome to life.
How do I stop this?